In this week's Fresh Produce Market Overview, we discuss the latest trends and prices in the vegetable and fruit markets of South Africa as usual and get some interesting insights from Pieter Van Zyl, our regular market analyst, regarding the future of potato, onion and tomato prices. All in this week's episode, so make sure to stay tuned. The Outlook is made possible by Standard Bank that plays a crucial role across the full agribusiness value chain, from what happens on the farm and beyond the farm gate, right up to when the farm's product reaches the retailer shelves. Because of this, they understand the full agricultural ecosystem and the trends and risks across the sector. And they're able to give guidance on the right finance, insurance, and working capital solutions at every stage. Standard Bank, it can be.
Was the Hilux born a legend? No. It was made one by you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Johnny van der Merwe and welcome to this week's AMT Fresh Produce Market Overview, where we look at the latest prices and trends in the agricultural sector of South Africa. Also feel free to contact me if you're interested in signing up to our more detailed Outlook reports at a minimal fee, where we discuss each of these markets in more detail. Looking at the latest economic indicators, the Rand stayed relatively stable last week and traded on 14 Rand 78 per US dollar, while the latest Brent crude oil price continued to increase to $76.34 per barrel at the end of last week. As mentioned last week, we are heading towards the end of the month, which can support most prices on the markets. Stay tuned when we will discuss this in more detail with Pieter Van Zyl later on. The latest vegetable prices traded as follows. Section was brought to you by Nile Marketplace. Nile provides an online platform that enables you to sell your fresh produce directly to retailers, processors and packers. The platform provides maximum price transparency, which means you know the exact price that your produce is sold at before it leaves the farm. Payments are secured on your behalf and dispersed within 24 hours. Fresh produce trading has never been this efficient. Learn more at Nile.ag. Looking into the latest fruit prices, we can expect some support to prices with high demand that is likely as the weather gets warmer. The latest fruit prices traded as follows. As promised, we're here with Pieter Van Zyl, our regular market analyst again this week, and he's going to discuss more about the potato, onion and tomato markets and what we can expect for the next month or so. Welcome, Pieter. Glad to have you back again.
Thank you, Johnny.
Pieter, what did you see is the latest news in specifically the potato industry? I know we saw record prices. Where do you think are these prices headed?
Yeah, Johnny, we've seen record market prices since June, and the last 3 weeks, the average weekly market price was more than 80 Rand per 10 kg bags of potatoes. And I think we can even see higher prices over the short term. We know that farmers in Limpopo have earlier this month started to lift the fields that have suffered frost damage end of July. But as mentioned last week, relatively large volumes of large and large medium sized potatoes are still available on the markets, meaning that we perhaps have not seen the full impact of the frost damage yet. So let's see the next week, 2-3 weeks, what may happen. We do not really know how big the frost damage was, but we do know that the June plantings escaped the frost damage. And last year, when the June and later the July plantings were being lifted, prices started to experience downward pressure. The downward pressure started was about the second part of October, and the expectation is that the same may happen this year. Okay, Limpopo has not experienced hot and wet summers for many years. High temperatures along with rain causes, as we know, quality problems. And within 2 weeks, market prices can easily drop by 20 Rand per bag due to quality problems, as we have seen earlier this year. We've seen that in end of January and again end of February. And such a scenario is a possibility and may possibly take place in Limpopo this year, but only from around about, say, October. So onion prices are still under pressure due to enough supplies available. We've seen that this year onion prices do not compare well with the previous 3 years. Prices have basically been moving sideways between January and June, and since then, onion market prices started to decline. This is the normal seasonal trend for this time of the year. Above normal volumes of onions were sold since July, putting more downward pressure on market prices. Market prices are still lower than the previous 3 years. The stock levels on markets since the second week of September are constantly above 1 million 10 kg bags of onions, and this has never happened before. And however, red onion prices are still trading at relatively good prices, and that is due to low availability. Prices are normally under pressure onion prices are normally under pressure from June till around September each year. This year is no exception. Another trend over time is that prices usually experience a slight upward pressure somewhere around October, just for a week or two. And this has been the trend for the past 5 years. And the reason for this can probably be found in the transition period between Limpopo that is finishing and the Northern Cape farmers that are starting to market their onions. And after this, market prices usually fall further till the beginning of December. The Limpopo region was initially slightly behind in marketing compared to the previous 3 years until about the end of August. And during June till August, however, the Ceres production region marketed far more onions than usual. Given the good production conditions that have been experienced, we can probably expect that quite a lot of onions from Limpopo will have to be marketed till the end of October. At the end of October, the Northern Cape farmers usually will start marketing their onions. And then, Johnny, the last little bit on what's happening on the tomato market. If we look at seasonal trends, we will see that sales volumes of tomatoes are usually very high during July and August, which obviously puts downward pressure on prices. This year was no exception. During mid-August, the lowest market prices for the year were realized. And since then, however, prices have been much better, although the sales volumes of tomatoes on markets are still quite high, but not the same as a month ago. Again, a game changer can be quality issues, as is the case with potatoes and onions in the weeks to come, especially in Limpopo. And lastly, it would seem to me at present as if market prices are following the seasonal trend, with prices moving upward from August to October. And that's about my story, Johnny.
Thank you very much, Pieter. I really appreciate your time and effort. Really insightful. For more detailed information, please make sure to contact me. Make sure to click on the Halfway Toyota link below. Andrew and his team at Halfway Toyota is waiting for you with the best prices and service countrywide for the Toyota of your choice. This broadcast was made possible by Standard Bank, Nile Marketplace and Halfway Toyota.